Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol, and welcome to this week's Midweek 180. Well, it is a beautiful sunny day outside today. The wind's dropped a little bit as well, which makes it all the better for filming, and we might be allowed to be filming in cars very, very soon. But if you've not seen one of these before, this is my midweek update where I bring you my news, views and information about upcoming reviews, all filmed in one take. I'm going to put 180 seconds in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and that's it, a very simple format. Now, I must mention at this point, last week's Midweek 180 has broken all records and has had over 10,000 views already, which is incredible for a Midweek 180. When I first started doing these, I'd be lucky to get a few hundred views, let alone 10,000. But anyway, I digress. Without further ado, let's get cracking with this week's Midweek 180. I shall start my timer. Okay, leader of the pack. Last week was Francois G. Congratulations, sir. You were joined in the famous five by Kevy427, Colin Billingham, Brian Lloyd and Harry Archer. So whoever puts the first comment this week, you will be my leader of the pack. Next week, and the first 5 comments, you will be in my famous 5. Now, where are you and what you're doing? Well, that was Kevin Cross, who was sitting on the sofa eating biscuits while watching Midweek 180, but he'd already stained all the sleepers in the garden and taken his dog Domino for a 6.5-mile walk on the downs. I think you deserved your biscuits. Last week's question was, well, I forgot to ask a question, so I asked you for your questions. So this question I thought was brilliant. After lockdown, you have a choice of 3 things. You've got to choose a driver, a car and a racetrack. Where would you go? Who would be driving your car and what would you be in? For me, very simple. I would have Ayrton Senna in the driving seat. We would be in a McLaren F1, so Mrs. Petrol could come along and we would go around Monaco. I think that would be unbelievable. Now, let's talk about Formula One, shall we? Because yesterday, well, maybe not surprising news, but Vettel announced that he was not going to be signing for the Scuderia Ferrari next year, which kind of has thrown basically everybody into meltdown in terms of the driver market. My take on the situation would be, obvious choices to go to Ferrari would be Daniel Ricciardo. His contract with Renault ends at the end of this year, but he would want to be a number 1 driver, I think, and I don't think Leclerc, and having just signed 5 years for Ferrari, is going to be too happy with that. So I don't think Ricciardo will go to Ferrari. I think Carlos Sainz is most likely to go from McLaren to Ferrari, which then kind of opens things up a little bit. I don't think Hamilton will go. He's kind of pretty much committed to a long-term or finishing off his career at McLaren. But I think Ricciardo could go to McLaren to fill Sainz's seat because he's not happy at Renault. And then I think Alonso might come back and go into the number 1 seat at Renault. And I think Vettel will retire. That is my take on the situation. I would love to know, put in the comments below what you think is going to happen in Formula One, because I really, really interesting. But Vettel really, for me, since he left Red Bull's never been the best driver. I wanted to mention this week and last week I've done a couple of things with PopBangColour. You need to check out their Instagram and their Facebook. Last week I sat with PopBangColour where he did a continuous line drawing of a GP2. The video is live. I will put a link up above, up there somewhere. So you can go and watch. It draws these videos, these pictures in about 30 minutes or so. And then this week, he did Ruby Roadster. Look at that, this amazing picture of Ruby Roadster. But he's trying to do a coffee book of all of these different drawings. He's done drawings with Charlie Cooper, the Gentleman Racer. He's done Sam from Seen Through Glass. He's done a whole bunch of people and their cars, and he's wanting to put together a coffee book of all his illustrations, and he's got a crowdfunder page. I'll put details in the description below. I've massively ran out of time this week. I could have done a whole video on Formula One, to be honest. This Friday's video at 6, I'm going to go and do some car reviewing on the roads, people. Yes, I am going to put head-to-head my S4 against my JCW Clubman and give you my overall impressions, styling, interior, and most importantly, driving performance. Because my take on the restrictions lifting in the UK is that I think I'll be allowed to do that and okay to do that. I'm not putting anybody in any risk. I'm filming it outside my own house. I'll be socially distancing on my own in the car. And I honestly think there's no problem with that at all. So Friday's video at 6 will be my S4 versus my JCW Clubman, and lots of people have asked for that. So it's coming for you on Friday at 6. But there you go. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have done so, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol for plenty more content to come. Don't forget you can get merch like this cool Leader of the Pack t-shirt or this mug from controlandshift.com. Links are in the description below. Head on over and get some merch. These t-shirts are lovely, mega quality as well. Anyway, that's my sales pitch over. I'll leave you at that one. I've been waffling on far too long, but I'll see you on the next film, guys. You take care. Stay safe.